Welcome to my tutorial 13B. It's titled How to Make a Maze Part 3. It's a follow-up to 13 and 13A. We're going to start by opening the previous Flash file, and I want to select this Stop Start layer and insert a layer and call it Rules. R-U-L-E-S, Rules. I'm going to pull down the timeline so I can see all my layers. Click on this, drag it right down, select they're all highlighted black, bring it into the second frame and go to frame, make sure all my layers are locked, unlock my rules layer, click on that frame, pull this up, pick up your text tool and type in this information. It says, use the arrow keys to work through the maze. Work quickly. You have 30 seconds, so we're going to be timing this. Press on the oval when you are ready. So that sounds like the next thing we should make is the oval button. Let's insert another layer and call it button. Make sure all the layers are locked except the button layer. Select that first frame and come down here on your stage, and somewhere in here make a button. Here's my button, and I called it play_button, and I gave it the instance name of play_button. Click on the first frame of our actions layer, open our actions panel, and up here we're going to type some code. Type. The first thing we're going to put is in the stop code, STOP, open close bracket, semicolon, and we're now going to have the play button, capital PLAY_BTN period, on press, small o capital P equals a function, open close bracket, open curly bracket, go to and stop, small g, small t, capital A, capital S, bracket, quotation mark, maze, quotation mark, close bracket, semicolon, close curly bracket. This maze is going to be what is now frame 2, so let's go back to scene 1 and let's select the buttons layer, insert a layer and call it frame names, FRM name, NAM. Insert a blank keyframe on frame 2. Insert a blank keyframe, and down here name that maze, M-A-Z-E. So now that button, when it's pressed, will take me to frame 2, which is called maze. While we're at it, let's label this one rules. This first frame, rules, R-U-L-E-S. We'll call that one rules. So now both of our frames have been named. We don't want this play button to be on frame 2, so select the buttons layer, lock all layers, select the buttons layer, and frame 2, right click, insert blank keyframe, and we lose that button. Open up another layer above the buttons layer, call it game over, G-A-M-O-V-R, game over. Make sure all the layers are locked except that game's over layer. and go up here to your frames layer, click on frame 3 and insert a blank keyframe. Click on frame 4, insert a blank keyframe. Frame 4, call lose. Enter. And frame 3 will call win. W-I-N. Enter. Let's do the win game over first. So come down here on frame 3 of the win of the game over layer. Insert a blank keyframe. On this frame 3 of the games over layer, highlight it, and we're going to put some text. Select my text tool, a very large font. I'm going to try 5960. Game over, you win. Insert a blank keyframe on frame 4 of the same game over layer, and game, center that a little bit. Let's deal with when the game is over because you completed the maze. Lock all the layers, scroll down, unlock the buttons layer, select frame 2, that's where the maze is, and down here where you see this stop sign, I want you to make a button. There's my button right there. I have a button, and when I made that button, I selected it, I gave it an instance name of stop underscore button, BTN, and down here when you have it selected, you've made it a button by going to modify, select this alpha and make it 0. See, there's a button here. If I increase it, you can see the button, there it is there, but I don't want to see it, so I'm going to bring it down to 0. The button is still here, it's just that we don't see it. Close that panel back up. Going up to the action script layer, or excuse me, click on that second frame, open the action panel, and this first line of click right there and type in this code. It's a simple if statement. We've done lots of them. If the movie clip ball hits that new stop button, then go to and stop on the frame that we called win. Before we leave here, let's just put your cursor here, tab down, and put in, right on line 1 here, put in a stop. And I'm just going to format for a second. Okay. Let's go to frame 3 of the action script and insert a blank keyframe. Frame 4, insert a blank keyframe. On frame 3 action script, let's put in a stop. And on frame 4 action script, let's put a stop. And what is working now is that button at the end of our maze. So let's find the layer that has the ball on it. Lock all layers. Unlock the ball layer. Open frame 2. That's where you'll find the ball. It's way down here. So let's just grab it for a test and put it right here. The button's here. And let's give this a test to see if when it hits this, we indeed jump to that frame win. Or on my rules page, this takes me to the maze. My maze works, and that takes me to game over, win. So far so good. Lock all layers, go up to the game over layer, game over, frame 4, that's game over, time is up. So therefore we need to find some way of having the time. Open your library panel, make a movie clip, time underscore MC, select frame 1 of layer 1, which we'll call time. Select frame 1, and we're going to put 2 text blocks in here for now. Select your text tool, static text, bring it way down to like 20 or something, and in here on this static text, time equals pick up another text box, same size font, put in 30. Make sure this is a dynamic text. I want to write script on it, and we're going to give it the same name, time underscore txt, time text. And with your selection tool, just bring that in line like that. Go to frame 12, insert a keyframe, add a new layer, action script, insert a blank keyframe on layer 12, open the actions panel, and type in this information. Time text underscore text, capital T on the time, period text. It's telling this that it's a text blocks. We're treating it as a number, open bracket, time text text. You can just copy this and paste it here. Subtract 1. Go to and play bracket, frame 1, bracket, and semicolons at each end. This just tells it every time you go to frame 12, subtract 1 from that dynamic text that we set at 30. Because it does it every 12 frames a second, that's going to be counting seconds. Click on frame 1, insert a blank keyframe, and write this text. Open your actions panel, type. Now we're testing that, how many times it goes through that loop. It's an if statement. If bracket time underscore text dot text equals. You need 2 equal signs because it's comparing it to a value 0. So after it's gone through that loop 30 times, it will be 0, at which time it does this line which says underscore parent, go to and stop. There's that lose frame, frame 1, scene 1. This says go back to scene 1 and that frame lose. We have to now put this on scene 1, back to scene 1. We need a layer called time. We have the game's over layer selected. Let's put it above that. Time, T-I-M-E, enter. This will be shown to us on frame 2, so insert a blank keyframe. We don't need to see it after that, so insert on frame 3 another blank keyframe. Select frame 2. All the layers are locked except the time layer, and bring this right here. There it is there. Fits nice. If you want to make it larger, you can. Select this name, copy it. That's my instance name, paste. So let's see if this timer is running. There's my play button, and it's not running. And the reason is, go back to my time movie clip. I don't know why this is so, but click on it, make sure you have it. There it is. See all those little fuzzy lines? Drag it over here, right click, and remove that frame. Now let's test it. and it is counting seconds. So we'll leave that there for now. Let's make this just 3 seconds. So we'll see if our action code works and it sends us back to that frame that says lose. Control test movie. 1, 2, 1. Game is over, time is up. Now all we need to do is find some means of getting to play this game again. Open frame 1. All layers locked. Go down to where that buttons layer is. Insert a blank keyframe on frame 3. Insert a blank keyframe on frame 4. Let's go here and let's make a button. So I'm going to make a button. Pick up my oval tool. Make sure my buttons layer is unlocked. Let's go with a white stroke. And let's go with a color here. Like that, looks interesting. Make an oval. Pick up some text. Play again. We need a different color for that text. Let's make it a black. Play again. My text tool, my selection tool, drag that in here and center it up. Okay, selection tool again, make sure all of it's highlighted. Modify, convert to symbol. It's a button. AGAIN_BTN, again button. Let's go up to the action script layer. Click on that frame 3. Open the actions panel. Select line 2. The again AGAIN_ button, that's that button we just made. Period on press equals a function. Open close bracket, curly bracket. Go to and stop rules. And rules was that frame 1. Come back to the main scene. Go down to the buttons layer. Make sure the buttons layer is the only layer unlocked. You have the button selected. You can see that here. Let's give it a name. Copy, paste, and right click on the button, copy it, go to frame 4, right click, paste in place, go up to the action script, frame 3, open the panel, copy this lower section, go to frame 4, and paste that right there. So if we lose or win, we can play again. So let's try that. Test my movie. Let's let the time run out. And I can play again. This time let's win it. Same we made the maze. Not fast enough. We know that the time works. We just seen that. And we weren't fast enough, so let's go back to the time movie clip and let's give ourselves some time. Let's put 30 seconds in here. Now let's test this movie. I know the time worked last time, we know that. And play again, you win. I think the maze is working exactly the way we want it to. We want to go back to scene 1, lock all layers, find the ball layer, unlock that, frame 2, and let's put the ball back on the starting post. Pick up your selection tool, click on the ball, and put it here. There's our maze. Now let's dress it up a little bit. Open a new layer, go up above your, up around here, up around the time layer, insert a new layer, call it trim, T-R-I-M. I'm going to use my selection tool, and I'm just going to put it around the edges, just for looks. So with my selection tool selected, I need a color, and I'm going to pick something relatively bright compared to what's there. Here it is, and I'm going to start, let's put it on 50%. Yeah. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to come over to here, and I can see that's nowhere what I want in. So I'm going to click on it, double click, and I'm going to bring it up to about 8. It doesn't matter exactly where it is, as long as it's helping you to make it look a bit cleaner. I'm going to draw another one here. And I'm just going to put a couple of verticals in before I break. Go back to 25%. I'm going to put a vertical one here, and I'm going to put a vertical one here. Now I want to do a close-up here. Once you have it all done, and I suggest you go over like this, pick up your selection tool, and if you just click on that once, you can delete that end. Click on that once, you can delete that end. Alright, I'm going to stop, and I'll do all my trims, and then I'll come back. I have all my trim in. The next thing I want to do is I want to change this color here inside. So I'm going to go to the very bottom of my layers, lock them all, go right down to the bottom, click on the lowest one, insert a layer and pull it down so it's a bottom layer. I'm going to call that paths, P-A-T-H-S, paths. Insert a blank keyframe on frame 3 and insert a blank keyframe on frame 4. I can see while I'm at it that that's going to be fixed, so just scoot right up quickly to that layer we just made with the trim and put a keyframe in frame 2, insert a keyframe, click on frame 1, right click, clear frame, select frame 3, right click, insert blank keyframe. So the only place that maze trim is here. We can go back down to the bottom on the paths layer, click on that keyframe of frame 2, and let's put in a color here. I'm going to make this 25%, and I want my paths color, and I'm just going to pick up my rectangle tool. I want no stroke, and I'm going to fill my paths with a color, and I'm going to go with this gray. Start right here and drag it till I know all my paths are going to be colored, and there's my new color on my paths. I'm going to now my selection tool, and I'm going to go back and make my background white. Okay. Open the time movie clip and make sure that's at 3 seconds. And let's give this a quick test. Press the play button, and in 3 seconds, game over, time is up. And I noticed with my button when I made it, this must have been highlighted, the text. So you got to press outside the button. I'm not going to change that. If you want to go back and fix that, you can. I click on it, it sends me back so I can play again. Now, let's make the time 50 seconds, and let's test this out. I got 50 seconds to get through this little maze. If I don't hit any of the blue walls, I won't get any traces come up. I think you're going to have to give the people more time than what you're doing it, because you know the path. And there it is, and the same thing with that button. This maze works. I got to go back and change my rules on page 1. Find my rules. Frame 1. Lock all the layers. Unlock the rules. And where it says 30, make it 50. And naturally, if you make yours any more complex, you're going to have to give them people time. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something from it.